So former RBA player Kevin Love, and the reason I consider Kevin Love a former RBA player is because Kevin Love is just basically warming the bench up for other players. He's now useless. Kevin Love is now washed up, and I ain't talking Dove Soap or Lever 2000. LeBron James is washed up just like Kevin Love. It's just that LeBron James is on steroids, allegedly. But Kevin Love goes on record and cooks LeBron James like some bacon and eggs. Kevin Love destroys LeBron James, puts LeBron James on a flat top grill and cooks LeBron James. Kevin shows LeBron James no love. And I ain't talking about that Eminem and Lil Wayne song. Kevin Love exposes LeBron James for basically ruining his game. But here's what Kevin Love had to say. This article is per basketballnetwork.net. And the headline says, I went from being an all-NBA, all-star guy to then being that third option. Kevin Love admitted he made hard adjustments to play alongside LeBron James. During an appearance on the Old Man and 3 podcast, K-Love acknowledged that transitioning from the Wolves to the Cavs was challenging, especially because he could have been nothing more than a spot-up three-point shooter. He says, quote, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to shoot a lot of threes. I'm going to have to completely change my game. For me, that was a already hard adjustment, the veteran force said. He goes on to say, quote, I went from being an all-NBA all-star guy to then being that third option. And I'm thinking, oh, I watched Bosh. I watched him pretty closely. Who didn't watch those Miami teams, he says. But maybe I can learn something from him. But it was just every team has a different makeup. That was a hell of an adjustment period for me. From going from a guy that shot almost 20 shots a game to then being basically regulated as a three-point shooter. But Kevin Love is spitting facts. Everyone sucks when they play alongside LeBron James. Chris Bosh was carrying the Toronto Raptors to the RBA playoffs before he joined LeBron James. Even a blind man can see that LeBron James is clearly the problem. Now you'll have the bronze sexuals, the LBGTQ, getting their panties in a bunch, responding to Kevin Love by saying, oh, you're hating because LeBron James dunked on Kevin Love. But no, the bronze sexuals are just mad because LeBron James won't dunk his nuts in their mouths. But LeBron James was the cause for Kevin Love having mental breakdowns. Tyronn Lue, the coach, was having mental breakdowns. Kyrie Irving requested to be traded away from LeBron James. LeBron James make players want to be traded. He make coaches want to quit. LeBron James is the cause for a lot of people's health issues. Hell, he even made his son go into cardiac arrest by trying to blood sacrifice his own son because his son refused to play basketball. Now, what Kevin Love experienced was nothing more than what Chris Bosh and Kyrie Irving and the Dwayne Wades of the world, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. I mean, the list goes on. Many players had to sacrifice their game and had to alter their games and take a step back because of LeBron James. And honestly, the only reason that these teams were able to win championships is simply because the RBA was rigged for LeBron James to win those titles. So LeBron James had all the help in the world, and he still needed the RBA to rig the finals for him. But Kevin Love had to take a step back. This is a guy who played with the Minnesota Timberwolves and was putting up extraordinary numbers. What a lot of people don't understand is that the Warriors at one point were even contemplating trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love. That's how great Kevin Love was. LeBron James does not make the players around him better. LeBron James has played with the most All-Stars in RBA history and still has a losing record in the RBA finals. LeBron James doesn't raise the play of players around him. Michael Jordan elevated Scottie Pippen's game, elevated Dennis Rodman's game, elevated Steve Kerr and the players around him game. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. He elevated Pau Gasol's game. He elevated Andrew Bynum, Ron Artest. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant make the players around him better. LeBron James makes the players around him worse. If you would have given Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant Kevin Love in their primes, they would have far more rings than LeBron James won with this guy. Kevin Love is preaching facts. You're guaranteed to become a spot-up shooter playing alongside LeBron James because LeBron James doesn't know how to play within a system. He doesn't know how to run plays other than the LeBron James play. LeBron LeBron James is a ball hog. He needs the ball in his hands and he has to initiate the offense. He doesn't know how to play off the ball. LeBron James, he has turned a lot of all-star players into role players, into G League players. When you play alongside LeBron James, there are no roles. It's just blacktop basketball because LeBron James is uncoachable. He's going to do it one way. He's bullheaded. He's cocky. He's arrogant. Roles aren't established when you play alongside LeBron James. LeBron James doesn't know how to utilize the talent around him. LeBron James should have won way more championships with the likes of a Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. He should have won far more championships with a Chris Bosh and a Dwayne Wade. But he's been getting by with having a league in his back pocket, so he's been able to cheat in order to get titles. But listening to Kevin Love's comments about LeBron James, I mean, it's not like he's saying something unusual or anything that's far from the truth. LeBron James makes everything and everyone around him worse. He makes teams worse. He makes general managers worse. He makes coaches worse. Hell, I checked my credit score this morning, and because of LeBron James, he made my credit score worse. He makes everything worse. Since he's entered the league, the RBA got worse. Nobody wants to watch LeBron James and the Lakers on nationally televised games. That's why the TV ratings are plummeting. They're getting worse. The people would much rather watch Savannah James feet pictures on OnlyFans than to watch LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Even when LeBron James produced films such as a House Party remake, Space Jam 2, once LeBron James got involved, it made those films worse and they flopped. Hell, he even literally won a Razzie Award for the worst performance for Space Jam 2. Ronnie James was the worst player in USC Trojan history. And LeBron James is making him worse. I mean, how can you get even worse than that? You might as well call him LeWorst James.